Hi, Connie and Kathy. We're going to get started in a few minutes. People are still settling into their seats.
His name is Steve Schleicher. He's our new guy, and he's also clerk and recorder for El Paso.
You need an introduction?
Yes, yes.
Fancy sponsor, you're better. Thank you. Yes.
Bill said he was going to be here. And I know Steve from past life.
So we,
When I used to live in Colorado Springs.
Okay, and here comes Bill.
So I know Representative Bradfield from my past life too.
I know nobody.
When I used to stir it up in Colorado Springs.
That's right.
Hello.
I'm Mary Bradfield. You are?
I'm Carol Casting. New member here? New to Colorado Springs, new to Colorado.
Yeah.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Apologize if you're online and can't see all the excitement in the room, but we're going to get started here in just a moment. We do have a quorum, Madam Chair, and so we'll hand it over to you to get started.
All right, great. Thanks, Jody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paula Levy, and I have been the chair of the commission for the last year. Time flies when you're having fun. And I welcome our visitors and newcomers to the group. Glad to have you. We'll go into introductions right now. Representative Mary Bradfield, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. My name is Mary Bradfield. I'm the representative for House District 21, the southern portion of El Paso County. And I have been involved in various pieces of legislation dealing with senior citizens, and just want to see what is on your radar for this next session. So thanks.
Thanks for being here. Steve?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So Steve Schleicher, I'm the El Paso County Clerk and Recorder. Many remember me as the former county assessor, where I sent love letters out each and every year of the notice of value. But I appreciate the opportunity to serve with you. Wyowas County really a strong proponent and supporter of the senior homestead exemption. And each and every year I ran legislation or attempted to run legislation to better that. And I am extremely happy to hear it's starting to get some traction in regards to helping a lot of our seniors here in the housing market as far as where they can age in place. So I look forward to being on this board. So thank you.
Great, thanks, Steve. I think we'll just introduce everyone because not everyone knows everyone. So Phil, one of our newest commissioners.
Thank you very much. Phil Stafford, new to the committee, done home modifications and medical equipment in town for quite a few years, and just recently joined this committee.
Thanks, Phil. Next, Commissioner Penny Whitney.
Thanks, Paula. I'm Penny Whitney. I'm currently a commissioner with the Colorado Commission on Aging, and so very eager to be a communication conduit between Pikes Peak Commission on Aging and the state. Also, I'm involved in El Paso County just completed ARPA project called JAWS that helps bring awareness and build opportunities in the long-term care workforce. So those are the two areas I will be representing with frequent reports.
Thanks, Penny. And now Commissioner Carolyn.
The button here.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Kasdan, and I'm also very excited to be joining the board. I'm new to Colorado, having just moved here, I believe it was August 1st. My son's on the military stationed here. I'm a nursing home administrator by background. I've done that work in about 8 different states now. Very excited to talk to you about workforce development. And I'm also a board certified patient advocate. So thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. We're happy to have you. Go ahead, Amy.
Amy Mitchell, Park County County Commissioner and a commissioner on this board. And I'm just happy to serve and represent the ruralist part of the PPACG. Thank you.
Thanks. And then there's Dayton over there.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dayton Romero. I'm a representative officially as a commissioner on this group, representing El Paso County. A few other hats I wear. I am regional manager for OATS, also known as Older Adult Technology Services from AARP. We have a 10-state region. And community-wise, I serve on the board of Rocky Mountain Healthcare PACE. As the chair, I also am on the Community Health Partnership Board, and I also am a 5th Congressional District citizen representative on the Commission on Family Medicine for the state, and wear a few other hats in the digital equity space for the state and for other parts of the country. Thanks.
Great. We'll go on to the folks online. Connie, can you share a little bit about you?
Hi there. Yes, I've been on the board now, almost
Oh, we
it's been a
can't
year
hear you
now.
for some reason.
You should be able to hear me.
Okay, now we can. Now we can.
Hi, I'm Connie Ryan. I've been on the commission now about a year. And I represent the El Paso County area. I'm also the owner of Journey Care Coordinating, where I help navigate resources and provide care management for families with seniors.
Thanks, Connie. Next, Kathy.
Hi, I'm Kathy Sorello Smith, and I'm a commissioner, and I was the former Colorado commissioner that, well, as Penny said, was a conduit. But I'm retired, so I don't have any businesses to represent right now.
Thanks, Kathy. All right, next we need to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve today's agenda?
Amy Mitchell, I move we approve the agenda as written.
Thank you, Amy.
I'll second. Dayton
I'll
Romero.
second that. Oh,
Nope, that's all right. 2 seconds are good. They make a fourth, right? Okay, so next are consent items. And that would be approval of the minutes from our November meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the
Madam
minutes?
Chair, if I could just ask, could we get a vote on the agenda?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Can I get a vote on the agenda approval? Everyone not in favor, say aye. It's approved, Jared. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes from the November meeting. As written, do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Amy Mitchell, so moved.
Thank you, Amy. Second? Bill Stafford is seconding. All opposed to approving those minutes as written, please speak now. Hearing none, the agenda, the minutes have been approved as written. Next, we have public comment and presentations. And we have some visitors in the room, but I'm not sure if anyone's presenting.
Madam Chair, we don't have any requested public comments online or previously by email.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jody. Next, we'll move on to action items. And we talked about the bylaws last meeting, and we were going to make a motion this meeting to approve the newly revised bylaws. So if everyone's had a chance to take a look at those, if not, Jared's got them started on the screen. Is there any discussion?
For the new people that are in the room, the bylaws, we're looking at changing, adopt, to have an appointed liaison with the Colorado Commission on Aging. And this has been about a 3-month process to make the changes. So just for new people who are in the room, just to kind of bring you guys up to speed on that, these bylaws were kind of looked at by the commission, then they were put out for the commission to review. There's some other processes that it went through as well. And then finally, it's now coming to the final vote today. So it's been a couple of months in the works, and we're glad to kind of see this happening today.
Thanks, Melissa. Any more discussion on the revised bylaws? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the bylaws as written?
Amy Mitchell, I move that we approve the revision of the bylaws as written.
Thank you, Amy. Is there a second? Penny Whitney is the
This is
second.
Kathy.
Oh, sorry, Kathy. Did you have discussion or were you just going to second?
Oh, I was going to second.
Okay, great. Any opposed to the revisions on the bylaws, please speak up. If not, the motion is passed unanimously. Next, we have informational items from the different committees, and Aaron is not here to give a report for the membership committee, but we have had an explosion in our membership, which is exciting. That's a long time coming. So Melissa, did you want to report on that, and we can discuss some of the other things also?
I'll just thank everybody who's in the room and the time that folks have taken to meet with me, meet with Aaron, talk with Paula, learn more about what we're doing here and having interest in kind of coming on the Commission on Aging and looking forward to 2025. I know that we're going to continue to work on getting folks appointed from a couple of other jurisdictions in our area, Park County, because we are having Amy Mitchell move on to the PPACG board. We're hoping, as they will decide in the near future, we're hoping that Park County Commission will appoint a person from the commission from the Park County area to represent Park County. So looking forward to that as well. And we'll be doing another membership orientation for the 3 new El Paso County appointees, probably sometime mid-January. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, you'll just be kind of, learning as you go until we have that orientation meeting. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. Next is the Colorado Center for Aging, formerly the Colorado Senior Lobby. Commissioner Mitchell has a report for us.
Commissioner Mitchell does not have a report for you. I will confess, budget season has been brutal, probably no different than the state, trying to budget with not nearly enough money, with too many services and needs at the county level. So we have been buried in decision meetings with our departments, and I foregoed the meeting for the Center for Aging to deal with our budget. So I do not have a report. I apologize, but legislative session is just right around the corner.
No worries. Jody, do you have any update or input on the Center for Aging? No. Okay, great. Thanks.
Madam Chair, can I make a comment too?
Oh, sure.
And so for new people who are in the room, we talked a little bit during orientation about the 4 committees that we have related to kind of direct work. But there are opportunities if people have interest in attending this, Colorado Center on Aging meeting once a month. If that's something that people want to view, it is available virtually, and so people can sign up and listen in on that. So if somebody who's new wants to be a part of that and be able to report back to us, that is something that will be open since we are losing Commissioner Amy Mitchell. So just keep that in mind.
And I'd like to make an additional comment about it. You can log in and attend their meetings online, no problem. If you want to vote, you have to be a member, and it's pretty pricey to be a member. But you can definitely see what they're working on in the older Coloradan space and what legislation they're working on, and how they're trying to maneuver. I'm sure the focus will be additional funding again. Probably a big ask with where the state is, but anyone can zoom in, and the meetings normally start at 9:30 and run for an hour and a half on every other Monday. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. You might as well keep your microphone on because you're up for the next report on the PPACG Legislative Committee.
I attended and I don't remember what we talked about. I'm sorry, guys. It has been brutal.
A lot of that is just housekeeping right now as we prepare our priorities at the PPACG level. We did, however, have, do you want to speak about the roundtable that was just last week?
Oh, yes, we had a roundtable with a couple new legislators. Amy Pascal Rascal. That's how we remember it. She attended. Yeah, her words. She said that that's the best way to remember, and it stuck really well. And also, former Senator, now Representative, and he's not in my district.
Oh, Mark Snyder.
Mark Snyder, yes. And they attended and talked about what they are focusing on legislative for 2025. We let them know what our challenges are at the all the county levels with the senior funding and other spaces, and just other items to think about when they are hearing comment and legislation. And I'm sure, Jared, you can be my lifeline to give us additional information.
I do want to also thank Representative Mary Bradfield for spending Friday morning with us as well as part of that legislative roundtable.
All right, Jared, it's all yours.
I was just going to kind of chime in. Were you going to talk federally? Okay, then I'll let you do the federal part. Just a general legislative update. January 8th is when Representative Bradfield and her 99 other colleagues will get started underneath the Gold Dome. And we're eager to get started, but I want to thank Representative Bradfield for joining us today. It's always a joy to see her, not just because she's my representative, and I'm very protective of that. But it's always good to see her. She just brings so much insight to the process, and so yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, no, as Commissioner Mitchell said, we're kind of getting ready to strap in and get ready for another session. I'll let federal go with Jody. The next legislative committee meeting will take place the Monday after the session starts, just 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th. So
Thanks, Chair. Jody?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So, as with a couple of those teasers, one thing that the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments does not usually have is a federal priority list like we do with our regional priority list. And so because the Older Americans Act is up for authorization, it did get passed last week in the Senate. It's now before the House, which is the Education and Workforce Committee. The goal is that may pass before the end of this current federal legislative season, this current Congress, that can be passed. The challenge is, if it is not, is that all the work that has been done across the network, regionally and nationally, across this last year, and really even before that, with some rule updates, will effectively have to start over with the new 119th Congress after the first of the year. Our hope is that this can be passed so that we can continue moving forward. The process with the reauthorization is with reauthorization of the Older Americans Act, that also leads continue down the road with the funding as well, so that funding discussions may take place and allocations can be discussed. And so there's really a hope that the House will go ahead and pass this. It did go to the Senate under what's called unanimous consent. That basically means that it's an opportunity for this to be passed when a lot of behind the scenes work has happened. Compromises and discussions have been taking place between the Senate and the House committees. And so a lot of that work was done in advance of this going before the Senate. The Senate did pass that middle of last week. And the hope, like I mentioned, is that it goes before the House under the same circumstances, so that we can wrap that up and continue advocating now from a funding standpoint, but also continued advocacy for older adults. So the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments Board of Directors last week passed unanimously the approval for me to advocate at the federal level. And so I have been doing that along with some help of some of our board members, with Congressman Lamborn's office, as well as Representative Pedersen. And so her district covers for us Park and El Paso, Park and Teller counties, as well as Jefferson and some other counties. So there's a lot been going on to move that process along. So it was very appreciative to our board of directors to provide that approval for me to advocate also at the federal level, not just the state level. So from the state perspective, as mentioned, the new session begins January 8th. One of the big challenges that we do anticipate because of what we're hearing in the news around the state budget is the potential of the $2 million increase that we saw in the state fund for senior services. Those are the funds that are aligned with the Older Coloradans Act in the budget. That $2 million, that was a statewide budget increase that may be removed due to the state's budget deficit work that's going to be happening. So that has been a recommendation put forward But we're also hearing from some of our advocates at the state level that there may be additional decreases, cuts coming through CDHS, Colorado Department of Human Services. That is our state department that oversees the area agencies on aging across the state. There could be additional cuts through that. So our goal, even though we would love to have more funding, per Commissioner Mitchell's comment, frankly, it will probably be a continued messaging to help reduce the amount of cuts. That's probably going to be the more realistic conversation that we have across the network. And so, as many of you know, I sit on the board of directors for the Colorado Association of Area Agencies on Aging, and we worked furiously with other partners across the network and across the state to get that $2 million last year. And we're just hoping for light cuts or flat funding. We will be content with that, knowing that there are such challenges across the state budget this year. So our messaging will begin very soon as we start to see how the budget talks start playing out. So right now there aren't any specific bills being put together that we're aware of, but as soon as we do, we will certainly bring those to your attention here as well. So thank you very much. That's all I have. If there are questions, I'm available.
Any questions for Jody? Thanks for that report, Jody. We did skip over item C, Colorado Commission on Aging. Do we have a report for that from that? Any?
Actually, we meet tomorrow, so it will be a delayed report, but I will eagerly communicate.
Thank you. Jody, do you have any other board items to offer?
No, Madam Chair, I think that is the focus. In fact, that was a very strong focus at our last board meeting last week. And Commissioner Mitchell discussed the legislative roundtable. So
Great,
thank you very
thanks.
much.
All right, next is the chair report. And again, I'm just excited to have everyone here and just the fullest commission we've had since I've been involved. Just excited to have everyone and all the new blood and ideas and experience that will come to the table for us. I had the opportunity to attend last Monday, the Aging in Place convening that Jill Gabler put on, and actually it was postponed from November, but was very well attended, and lots of good information. And I'm drawing a blank on the lady that presented. Yeah, Tatiana. Her slides were fantastic, and she did share those slides. So if anyone is interested in seeing more about that Aging in Place convening, I can share those slides with you. Miss Melissa was on the panel, and Jody I know was in the audience. Penny was in the audience. Bill was in the audience. We had good representation. Do any of you have anything to offer?
Actually, I would add one point that is combined with this, and I see Cheyenne is in our audience, but there seems to be a new energy for collaboration, both with the city, as evidenced, I think, by the housing convening last Monday. And so I think that is a good sign that the community acknowledges the importance of a growing older demographic and are interested in exploring ways for collaboration. And so the fact that Cheyenne, who serves with the Colorado Springs Fire Department, and I think her work would be an excellent opportunity to showcase at a future meeting just how multiple entities are helping support aging in place.
Great, thanks, Penny. Phil, did you want to add anything? No? Melissa, your experience on the panel, they were really good questions. Directed to at the whole panel. Do you have any feedback or did you get any discussion from people afterwards?
I think just a reminder that the panel had Silver Key on there with Jason, Brothers Redevelopment, myself, and then AARP, you know, just kind of talking about different resources in the community, talking about successes, talking about the challenges that are still kind of out there. But again, David Lord, I think, did do a really nice job with his questions and kind of moving it through. It was a really nice compliment with Tatiana Bailey. I think with her slides, the thing that really sticks out for me the most is the reminder of how much it costs to go into long-term care. And, you know, for people who don't look at that until they're going into long-term care and they don't realize that there are options to stay at home. You know, so many people, you know, it's too late when they find out that a next day access or someone else can come out and, you know, fix up their home, you know. And at that point in time, they might have fallen so many times that they can't even stay in their home anymore. And so, you know, you can invest $93,000 a year up to $140,000 a year to go to long-term care, or you might want to just invest that in your house and the care of having somebody come into your home. But there's a lot of things that go on with that as well. So I think the conversation needs to just be continuing and, you know, for Tatiana, you know, to actually be able to publish that, you know, dollar figure and get that out in front of a lot of people who have not thought about it is really, I thought that was really beneficial. And it's great to have her putting her energies and knowledge into the aging sector to really raise the bar in a big way around trying to take better care of ourselves and family members. And I cannot think of a single specific question that David asked me, even though, or asked the group, even though I know they were all really good. And it was fabulous to have the conversation, but I am drawing a blank on all of his good stuff. So, and it was nice to have so many Commission on Aging members in the room too. So, because that is a huge part. We have a committee that wants to focus on housing and talk about it. So it's nice to have everybody there. That's all I would add in.
Thanks, Melissa. One thing, I didn't introduce myself and what I do to our visitors. I have a dementia consulting platform that I work with families and help them navigate the dementia diagnosis. But in my free time, I'm trying to open an adult day program, which will also help people age in place. I have experience with one in Teller County that I opened both nonprofit. We already have our nonprofit, and we are working hard at offer on a building. We had our board meeting this morning. But one thing that adult day programs, their whole mission really is to prevent a premature nursing home placement so that caregivers can take their person to a place where they can create community and have social engagement, and then the caregiver can go and take care of themselves and actually get their foot back into the community. So stay tuned for that. It's getting exciting. All right, next. Do we have any presentations? None? Okay, next, item 8, work sessions, work group updates. Just wanted to touch base on our discussion in executive committee about really needing the work groups probably not to meet during this meeting. It's really trying to get them to meet on their own, because we just can't facilitate that when people aren't present. And we also have other people that are joined the committees that are not commissioners. So yes, Amy.
I do have an update on the area I'm working on. We've been working on, the name is improved, we'll just say improved healthcare access. And the mission we took on with this specific committee was telehealth and increase opportunity for telehealth. And we started in Park County because driving distances are so far. I mean, almost any healthcare is a 40-mile drive, best case scenario. And we've been working with the libraries. We were going to work with the ambulance districts, and they were very willing, but they are not always staffed because if they're out on a call, the building is empty. So we went to the library route because when we have open library hours, we have somebody there. And they were completely on board. We have now received full funding for all 4 libraries in Park County, Guffey, Bailey, Fairplay, and Lake George, where we are working on setting up private rooms in all 4 of our locations. The librarians will be able to help any senior who comes in with an appointment to get logged on to their telehealth appointment. They will not even need to know how to turn on a computer. They will be able to go in and access their physician and get what they need, prescription update, refill, or whatever they need to do. And then I will help Penny, who is the other Park County representative on this commission, write up the success and what we did, and hopefully pass that on to the other areas within PPACG to be able to duplicate what we've done. We've got a couple other grants lined up. We had enough funding to do this first round. We may need to purchase a little bit more equipment down the road, but we've got what we need. And so we figure this is a huge plus to see if it makes a difference to our seniors, and I believe it will.
Great, thank you. Dayton, did you have an update from your group? No update. Connie and I are in the caregiving work session, work group, and Connie, we really haven't met to update. We were going to wait till the new year to roll things out and get back on. Our goal was to hold a caregiver symposium, not unlike the senior expos where it's just a lot of vendors and small group discussions, but to have a symposium specifically for the caregiver and educate them on the things that they really are stuck on, like the financials, the legal, getting powers of attorney, just what resources are available in our community, which is a lot. We have a really good community to age well in. So Connie, do you have anything else to add?
No, just that we probably should put a date on the calendar for January to regroup here.
Yeah, I agree. So one thing that was discussed at our executive committee meeting was these work groups was a topic of discussion. We talked about possibly rolling digital access into the caregiving group, since that will be a topic I know that they will want to address. And then our social engagement group kind of fell apart, but we talked about Penny and I rolling into the social engagement work group and seeing what we can get done with that. So little restructure of the work groups, which takes us just to 3 work groups if we roll digital equity into the caregiving group. What are your thoughts on that, Dayton?
Yeah, I think it's a natural fit, and I think we can move with intention of whatever solutions we have in the digital equity realm and how it applies to other work groups. Just being intentional on sharing whatever kind of comes to the surface in those conversations. But
Great.
I think consolidation is always good, and making things more efficient and makes good sense.
Great. And our new commissioners will have an opportunity to decide which group they would like to sit in, or sit in all of them, and just be voice of knowledge to all of the groups. So that's what we have. Penny, how are you with the social engagement? Okay. Yeah.
And just a reminder with the social engagement one that the Commission on Aging did pull together like 19 entities that do kind of social engagement around the 3 counties and had them all kind of contribute and share information at this meeting. And then they now meet quarterly. And Penny Everest, who is on the Commission on Aging, and she runs the Park County Senior Coalition. She sits on that quarterly meeting, and I don't know when the next one is scheduled. It might be January. And so she'll be able to bring updates to this group of what they talked about. It was nice to have everyone get to realize the scope of what was happening around the 3-county region and who was doing what where. And we had, we had representation from Calhan, Fountain Valley Senior Center was there. So it was good because, social engagement was a big part of our 4-year plan of people, wanting to have more opportunities to connect for people who want to do that. And so I think for the Commission on Aging to always get that update of what those groups are doing and what their needs might be if they're running into particular, kind of needs that they want to share, we'll just see. And I know also it's been on the radar for the commissioners to meet at some of those locations. So maybe that'll be something we revisit in 2025 is to go out and host some meetings in some other locations. We'll see.
Great, thanks, Melissa. And I know Rose Banzoff from the Woodland Park Senior Center is kind of taking the lead on that group. I worked closely with Rose when I was in Teller County, and that senior center is run strictly by volunteer seniors, and it's an amazing and active place to be. So I'm excited to see what they all have to say to each other and collaboration and all of that. So that's exciting. So that's our work group update. Jody, did you have any comment or thoughts about what we're doing?
No, this all makes sense, and I like the idea that you shared, and thank you, Dayton, for your comments as well. I think starting to bring those together to coordinate those really does make sense because at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of crossover, and if those conversations are already happening as a natural part of that condensation of or condensing those conversations, then that they'll be able to be more active movement sooner rather than later. So I like where this is going.
Great.
So, thank you.
Jody. Dayton?
Thank you, Paula. Yeah, and kind of in that same vein of just that cross-pollination and a lot of these things applying across the board, I think there's a lot of power in the report that Tatiana Bailey shared in shedding that insight on the housing and the reality of kind of the economics of the older adult experience. And, that in addition to some of the digital equity stuff, I think there's funding out there, and these are compelling points that, organizations who have missions to kind of resolve some of these challenges are out there. And so how can we, get that information out front and center for them so that they could leverage and do that good work in the community, in their respective communities across the Tri-County area. For example, like digital equity, the capacity grants are on their way, and there's going to be a NOFO in January. And so the initiative where telehealth booths are being built, that could be a really nice fit. Caregivers, just across the board. And so I think just moving forward with intentionality of getting this compelling evidence, information in front of these mission-aligned organizations with our goals and the overall well-being of older adults is a pretty powerful tool we could empower folks with in the communities.
Great, thanks, Dayton. Does anyone else have any comment? Nope. Okay, moving on to item 9, discussion items. Do we want to talk about the resignations of the former commissioners? We had a discussion at executive session, and there were talk about attendance and showing up, and honestly 2 commissioners came forward that were having a hard time getting to our meetings. One sent a nice letter of resignation to the commission. The other one I spoke to directly yesterday, Amy Mitchell. Amy, I'm sorry.
Amy Smith.
Amy Smith, I'm sorry. It's like, we don't have two Mitchells. Amy Smith, there's too many Amy's. Spoke with her directly about her workload and her inability to get to these meetings, but she definitely wants to be a part of the work group committees, specifically the caregiving committee. She's got lots of contacts to sponsorship folks and is excited to still be a part of that committee, but she put in her resignation also yesterday. So with that being said, we used to cry over those, and now we've got an explosion of commissioners that have joined us. So we are okay with them moving on and concentrating on their focus and their work. Anybody else have discussion items to bring up? Amy Smith, Amy Mitchell.
Yeah, Amy Mitchell. I am stepping off the Commission on Aging, and it has been a wonderful over 3 years, hard to believe, since almost the inception of taking over from Colorado Springs. And we've got a new board that will be seated January 14th. I will be one of those, again, seated commissioners for Park County, thank goodness. And I have put my name in to be on the PPACG board, to fill the slot that Commissioner Elsner, who is term limited and leaving us, is currently filling. So it is not by anything, but I can't serve on both, and time is limited. So I'm just going to be moving on, but not going anywhere. So it has been an absolute honor and pleasure. And I have learned so much from you guys, because this is not my space. I don't work in this area at all, though I am a senior and I qualify under the membership structure. And it has been truly an honor to learn and help our senior coalition with what I've learned and make a difference in Park County. And I will continue to help mentor those who sit on this board from Park County to keep up the good work. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And with that being said, Amy's departure leaves open a co-chair position. And actually, we were going to talk about all the officer positions within the commission. And
I think we have to wait because Erin was also kind of pursuing some of that,
Okay.
and I'm really not sure where that landed with her conversations with
Okay.
some of the other commissioners. So I think we will have to just bring that up in January and vote in January.
Super.
So
yeah, I wasn't going to vote. I was just going to have people think hard on maybe taking on a role in the commission as far as committee membership committee, and what else? What other committee do we have? Oh, co-chair, and yeah, Melissa just keeps us in line. So yeah, really membership committee and co-chair are two thoughts. And I've planted the seed with some commissioners in passing. So member entity announcements.
Madam Chair, if I
Yes.
may, if I may, before we move on to that, from a discussion item, I failed to mention, if there are opportunities to testify at the state capitol in this next legislative season, I'll certainly be announcing those, much like we did last year or earlier this year, and would invite you, even if you're not comfortable testifying, just to come with. Watch the process, be part of the process, learn more about the process. I think there's a lot to be said for engaging in that overall process. I will say that the first time I did it was someone stopped me here at my office and said, "We have an opportunity in 3 hours. Can you be there?" And I said, "Sure." And I showed up and we did it, I promise I will give you more notice if I have that. But I would love for folks to just, even if it's just to come with me, even if you don't say a word. Sometimes the mere presence of folks who are representing or wanting to advocate in some way show up, and that's important. And so you can see how it works. And if you ever want to testify, then I would be very happy to be your coach in that. It's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes. It's fast. And both of my presentations today have been more than 2 minutes. So there you go. But I would love for you to join me in that, if at all possible.
That's great, Jody. Thanks for that invitation. We look forward to hearing notice about those sessions. Good notice. So now we're moving on to number 10, member entity announcements. Does any of our members have announcements to share? Dayton?
Thank you, Paula. No, I just kind of going off of what I had mentioned earlier with the digital equity opportunity. All but 8 states in the country, last I checked, had received their capacity grant funding and awarded to their respective broadband offices, or in our case in Colorado, it's the Office of Future Work who's going to be the primary administrator of these funds from the federal administrator, who is NTIA. Colorado received 12 million and some change, in which they're prioritizing what they're calling digital equity coalition building across the state. They have allocated across economic development regions. I have yet to hear any sort of rumblings for our communities, our Tri-County area, kind of positioning themselves to go after those fundings. So just want to bring that up as an opportunity that NOFO will most likely drop in January. And what they've prioritized in Colorado uniquely is a funding for what they call fiscal access partners. And what the fiscal access partner is responsible for, kind of cliff notes, is to really identify the key stakeholders who could be sitting around the table and representative of what they've defined as covered populations. There's 7 of those in the legislation, that one being older adults. And once those groups are convened, those groups are then empowered to kind of self-identify locally, according to their region, their community, whichever sort of geographic sort of span that they're planning on covering and serving, what they need resources for. And those resources are geared toward digital literacy, getting the skills, upskilling folks across those covered populations with the ability to use technology. The second is to get devices or the proper technology in the hands of folks across those communities. And then thirdly, ensuring that they have the sufficient speed of internet access as well. So if there is someone at this table or someone in the community that is ideal to be that fiscal access partner, I'm happy to follow up and share all this information with this group, and we could kind of get the word out, because it certainly is an opportunity, and there are dollars allocated to our region, and that is moldable in terms of, as small or as big as we would like that to look. So that is kind of my announcement and hopeful call to action for this commission and other groups in the community to step up and see what they could do with that funding. Thanks.
Thanks, Dayton. Any other announcements from commissioners? No? Okay. Moving on to our meeting schedule. Our next meeting will be January 15th of 2025. At the Executive Committee always meets the first Wednesday of each morning at 8 a.m. All are welcome to be a part of that. We meet via Zoom, and Melissa sends that out. The Policy Committee meetings are going to be determined, and then the upcoming PPACG meeting schedule is usually included in our packet. So going on to item 12, items for next meeting.
There'll be two things probably. One is that we'll be revoting for the chair, vice chair, and a membership chairperson, but then also doing the formal approval and then sending on to PPACG board for the 3 El Paso County appointees. So those will be the two things for sure that we know.
Okay. And then hopefully the work groups will have a date of their meeting or have met prior to our meeting to give us a report on next steps for each group. All right. Go, Dayton.
I promise I didn't expect to talk this much during this meeting. No, just a quick question because I know last year, kind of toward the beginning of the year, we had presented to the PPACG board, just kind of updating them on our goals and kind of the outlook for this year. Obviously have made a good amount of progress and some seeing exciting things across the board there. Was curious if we might do that. It might not be Q1 considering how deep we are in December, but if we might look into the calendar of next year to give a progress update or any other sort of highlights we'd like for the board to know.
Yeah, thank you, Dayton. Yes, we can certainly do that. Sometimes things get shuffled, but we can start getting that on the calendar. I know January is full, and so probably won't be that early, but we can certainly do that for sure.
Thanks, Jody. That'll just give us more time to have more information.
There you go. Madam Chair, I do have one item of housekeeping, if
Okay.
I may. Since we do have so many members and new members, occasionally Melissa may send out as liaison for you all between the Commission on Aging and staff. She may send out an email, and sometimes that might prompt a desire to vote or approve. It's very important that you don't do that online because of the sunshine laws, which you will learn more about as part of the onboarding process. But just wanted to share that with you. If there's something that looks like it's prompting a vote, please make sure that you're replying only to Melissa, not in a group, not as a group email, because that does countermand our sunshine laws that we have to follow. So more to come on that, but just be aware of that. If you're not sure, reach out to Melissa or myself about that. But typically we try not to do any kind of voting online because of the sunshine laws. But sometimes we do ask for input of some sort, whether it's something for the meeting or membership or something like that, so which will allow us to move forward. But just want to make you aware of that. Make sure that you're just replying to Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. All right. Amy and Connie and Kathy, did you have anything to offer up? There was no hands up during discussions, but I just wanted to make sure we're not missing anything if you have something to share. Oh, there's Connie has something to share. Oh my
I
God.
know. I'm just wrapping a 10-month-old, but no, I don't have anything to share. Thank you.
Okay, great. He's awful cute, Connie. How about you, Kathy? Hearing nothing, I'm assuming she doesn't have anything to share, and we will adjourn this meeting to our social. Oh, Kathy, did you want to say something?
No, I said I have nothing to share.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. All right, we will adjourn to our little social gathering and the refreshments that everyone brought to share. And I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.